Writer PH Studios.
Alright, ang susunod naman po na magtatanong ay si Sir Jojo Panaligan.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My first
Good
question is
afternoon.
for Mr. Oliver. Oli, how can NCAA benefit from having GMA as its home network?
Hi Jojo. Good afternoon. Oo. Actually, napag-usapan din yan namin with the NCAA Mancom while we're preparing for this, for the production. I think NCAA will benefit doon sa strength ngayon ng network as we are promoting the NCAA not only on GMA but as well as on GTV. Dalawang main channels ng GMA will be part of kung ano ang season 96. I'm sure you've already seen several blogs since na-announce that GMA won the bid or is now partnering with the NCAA. So yung full force ng network ay binibigay niya to maximize the two channels as the new platforms for NCAA. Pag bumalik na tayo, sana I'm really hoping na mag-transition na tayo from this new normal to at least doon sa kung ano man yung nakikita natin post-pandemic. Yung mga sporting events will not only be shown, aired on GTV, but the semis to the finals, GMA is allocating airtime for it. So full support of the entire network ang binibigay to the NCAA. At alam mo pa ang maganda pa nito, Jo, itong primer na magsisimula na ngayong May 23, sports primer siya. It's a sports program, but it will air daily, na bigyan tayo ng magandang time slot. From Mondays to Fridays, 2:45 siya. Pag Saturday, 4:30, pre-prog siya ng 24 oras simul on GTV. And on Sundays, pre-prog ulit siya ng 24 oras simul on GTV at 5:05. So, yun pa lang, if you are looking at the time slots and you are familiar naman of the programming of the network of GMA, talagang binigyan niya ng so much attention, at minamaximize niya kung ano yung pwede nating mabigay sa NCAA, which I think NCAA is also very happy so far with the partnership because of the attention that has been given by the network. At biruin mo, Jo, yung producer ng primer, although ang nangunguna dyan ang GMA Synergy, ang katulong namin dyan para ma-produce yan, GMA Entertainment Group, GMA News and Public Affairs, GMA News Online, tapos papalabas pa siya sa GMA Pinoy TV, meron din sa Radio GMA. So lahat ng platforms na yan, puro yan NCAA come May 23. So yan, dun pa lang makikita mo na how much attention the GMA, your Kapuso Network, is giving to NCAA.
Sounds exciting. Thanks, Oli. My next questions are for Martin and Sophia. Talking with NCAA athletes and personalities, can you share some inspiring stories you learned from them?
Sige, I can go first. Because I've been covering the NCAA since season 92. So that was in 2016. Isa sa mga star players nung time na yon si Reynam Batak, also one of my favorite players sa talagang kinover because he has a very exciting player. Ngayon nasa pros na po siya. Ngayon na siya. Nasa PBA na siya. So he's on the verge of being a star. Pero yung simula niya po napakaganda ng storya kasi I think he came from Cagayan de Oro, if I'm not mistaken. And he bought like a one-way ticket to Manila. Only had like a couple of thousands dito po. Yun lang po yung pera niya. Pumunta siya dito. Wala pa siyang eskwelahan dito. Walang guaranteed siya, na deal siya dito. He was entering high school, I believe, or at least in the middle of high school, aspiring to get into one of the varsity teams dito. Nagbakasakali siya sa Letran. Tinanggap po siya sa Letran. And rest as they say is history. He became the star player po nung Letran High School program na yon. Nag-transition siya sa college. Sa Letran College po, was part of the championship team nung nanalo po nung 2015. And he used the NCAA because, as I mentioned earlier, he was one of the biggest stars back then as a springboard para po makapunta sa PBA, sa pros. At isa pa pong storya na I think alam din po nung iba ng mga sports fans natin at ng mga writers din po dito ay yung storya rin po ni Robert Bolick at kung paano po siya nabigyan ng NCAA ng exposure para talagang ma-flex niya yung basketball skills niya, basketball talent. Because I remember before high school, he was already a star in the NCAA juniors as well. Lasal Green Hills po siya nag-high school. Galing siyang Ormoc Leyte, kinuha siya ng Green Hills. Naturally, he will transition to the mother team of Lasal. But when he was there in college, that was his first team. Hindi po naging ideal yung kanilang setup doon. He wasn't given at least the playing time that he was that he wanted, of course, as a player para maipakita mo kung gaano kagaling. He decided to bolt and go to San Beda in hopes to, or at least hoping to revive his basketball career. And lo and behold, that was the best. I think na nakausap ko siya dito. That was the best decision so far sa kanyang basketball career dahil pagdating niya sa San Beda, lahat ng klaseng exposure nakuha niya. He became the King Lion. Nabigyan siya ng ganung kalaking responsibility and he responded in the biggest of ways. He won championships. He dropped 50-point games, or at least just one 50-point game, but that was very historical already. You know, he experienced sweeping the entire season, including the finals. He beat the best of the best, and at the same time, kung hindi siya, ayun po, nagamit rin niya yung NCAA para makapunta sa makapaglaro sa professional leagues. But again, it was his decision to go to the NCAA na nag-spark talaga, nag-revive nung career niya para maipakilala siya sa buong Pilipinas as a very talented athlete. And now he's representing, not just his team in the PBA, he's representing the Philippines. Naglaro siya sa World Cup sa China, facing the best of the best in the entire planet. I think that's one of the best stories as well na lumabas po sa NC.
Ang galing naman. Sophia, do you have inspiring stories to share?
Sige. Actually, kasi yung mga stories that I've heard are stories na I dug up as a fan pa. So, syempre, as a NCAA fan, I like to look back at the stories of yung mga athletes, syempre, from my school as well. That's why, magka-partner kami ni Martin kasi he knows all of the profiles talaga of the athletes. As in, minsan pumapasok ako sa studio, sabi, Martin, sino yan? Tapos mag-enumerate siya, pati height, sinasabi niya, age, where they graduate, kailan sila graduate, ganyan siya ka-experience with the background of the players. But for me, of course, I've heard the story since I'm from San Beda University. One of the most inspiring stories for me is, of course, Baser Amer, kasi he comes from a very simple life kasi, and then he took a chance, came to Manila, was recruited by San Beda University, and his life with a 360, pero he was always humble. So syempre, we go to the same school, pero when you look at the athletes, you see them parang celebrity, parang you don't see them all the time. When you see them in their uniform, parang feeling mo they're so different from you kasi they're stars. Parang sila yung nagdadala ng bandera ng San Beda. Sila talaga yung big stars of the school. You're not able to talk to them, feeling mo, ganyan. Pero when you see Baser, especially, when you see him, he's always so eskwela. He likes to talk to people. Nagpapatulong siya. He goes around and does this and that. Tapos, when you see him at lunch, he doesn't spend any of his money kasi he has yung parang food stamps
for our athletes para so parang allowance nila for food, and then he uses it, he gets the food, hindi niya kinakain, binibigay niya we go to school in Mendiola, diba? San Beda University is Mendiola. He gives them to the kids sa labas kasi obviously Mendiola is not the most, best community when it comes to our surroundings. So there's a lot of homeless people. Tinutulungan niya as much as he can. Tapos, he never spends money. Hindi siya bumibili ng mga gamit. He's very simple, as in, you'll see him in school outside of training wearing the same white t-shirt paulit-ulit. Like, never nagbago. Like, to the point na magtatanong kami, 5 ba yung white t-shirt mo? Hindi, ito lang. Parang ganyan lang siya. He's very, very simple, and it's because lahat ng pera na iniipon niya, lahat ng allowance na naiipon niya, pinapadala niya sa family niya kasi he wants to be able to help them. And that's the part of the athletes that we're not able to see when we're just watching the games. Yan yung sinasabi ko kanina na every shot they make, every point they get, hindi lang sila yung panalo, yung pamilya nila panalo, yung school namin panalo, yung mga fans panalo. So those are some parts na parang we're so excited. Ako talaga, I'm so excited na makikita nyo kasi ang daming stories ganyan, nakakaiyak, nakakatuwa, and wala lang, parang makikita talaga natin that every career is hard talaga. Every career deserves 100% kung gusto mo may mangyari sa'yo, di ba?
Ang ganda ng story. Parang gusto ko na agad manood.
Diba? Nakakatuwa talaga, promise, ang dami. Magugulat ka kasi parang feeling talaga natin sa mga athletes, parang, wow, sosyal, ganyan, nakagantong sapatos, ganyan, tangkad, pogi, mestiza, mayaman yan, ganyan. Pero super simple people, the best personalities talaga at mamimit mo. Kaya excited talaga.
Thanks for sharing that story, Sophia. My last question for both of you. What can viewers and sports fans look forward to as they watch Rise Up Stronger?
They can look forward to a lot of things. Again, I think it's being packaged as a sports show. Pero now it's gonna be more than sports. Dahil may kilala natin yung iba-ibang athletes, malalaman natin yung mga storya ng mga players, ng mga coaches, ng mga teams natin. Makakausap natin sila sa studio, live via Zoom, meron po kami niyan. And aside from talking about sports, we'll also be doing different activities with them na ikatutuwa rin po ng viewers natin because it's also a way to get to know the athletes. Uy, marunong pala siya nito. Uy, ang galing niya dun sa ganyan. May mga ganun po kami. So for me, it's gonna be a different mix, but definitely exciting show to look forward to. Para sa mga fans po ng NCAA, ito po yung hinihintay nyo na. Pero at the same time po, ilalapit din natin yan sa iba pang manonood dito sa GMA at saka sa GTV.
Sophia, may dadagdag ka ba?
Parang wala naman. It's just that keep in mind na sobrang unique kasi ayun nga, iba yung mundo ngayon, di ba? Parang maiisip tayo, how are we gonna do sports? Sports is a contact kind of thing. You have to touch the other players. Teamwork nga eh. Nasa pangalan lang na it's a team sport. So maraming tao. So I'm so happy to say na pinaghirapan talaga ng writers, ng GMA, ng GTV to follow the protocol. We're all doing our part para matuloy ito. So it's gonna be so unique. It's gonna be so different, so exciting. And I guess it's part of the fun kasi malalaman nyo na lang on May 23 kung paano ba namin to itutuloy yung NCAA Season 96.
Ang saya, ang ganda. Thanks, guys.
Writer, H. Studios.